Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a first perspective on things. And we see them today. We have a pretty interesting show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Again, if you want today's full show before it comes out, it's streaming for free on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We have that pinned in the comment section below. Anyway, let me get into this. Topic here. Now, this morning I was doing some research. It's been a while since we got into the business side of sports, but I went to Front Office Sports and I came across a pretty interesting article. And the article had the following headline. It said, ESPN's financial success raises questions about cost cutting and layoffs. And I said to myself, that's interesting, recent success. Because a lot of the things that we've been reading over the last few months is that ESPN has been going through some financial struggles. They've been losing monthly subscriptions every single month. At one point they had over 111 million monthly users. I think now they're somewhere around 70 million. Were paying for their services, and recently they had a huge round of layoffs where they laid off very big personalities like Max Kellerman, Jeff Van Gundy, Jalen Rose, Mark Jackson, and so many other notable front-facing talent. So when I came across this article, if I'm being honest with you guys, I was quite surprised to hear what this article was saying, because for me, it's saying that ESPN is actually having some financial success. So now we're beginning to question why, they made the decisions that we made. But before we even get into this article, this video is brought to you by a brand new sponsor, Factor Meals.
If you're like me or anybody that works at Dreamers Pro, chances are you're a very, very busy person, especially during the lunchtime when you don't have time to go to the grocery store, pick out fresh ingredients, and come back home and cook healthy, delicious meals. Sometimes we're so busy that you just end up finding yourself making a ham sandwich or something like that, which isn't really ideal. And this is the reason why we are excited to be partnering with Factor Meals. Factor Meals is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. You can choose from up to 35 gourmet meals. Every meal is packed with premium ingredients, crafted by Factor Meals' team of culinary experts and designed by dietitians to ensure that every meal is packed with premium science-backed nutritional quality. Your meals are delivered directly to your door, and all you need to do is heat them up in just under 2 minutes. Then they are ready for you to eat and enjoy. So for example, this week, I think I'm gonna go with the Italian herb chicken. What I love is that under every single meal, you can see if it's a calorie conscious option. For example, this meal I just chose is the dietitian approved calorie smart meal, which is around 550 calories or less per serving, and also a protein plus meal with 30 grams of protein or more per serving. So if you want to give it a try, click the link in the description below or head over to factormeals.com/dreamers50 and use code dreamers50 to get 50% off. And remember, when you try Factor Meals by using the link in the description below, remember that you're supporting this channel. Thank you.
So let me just get into this article here and read it. It continues on by saying, the Walt Disney Co. broke out quarterly financial results for ESPN for the first time last week. And to the surprise of doomsayers on Wall Street, it is still a powerful and profitable entity, but there's another audience frustrated, even angered by the revelation. ESPN generated nearly $1 billion in profits during the fourth quarter, namely ESPNers whose jobs were sacrificed on the altar of cost cutting by Disney. ESPN has long portrayed financial struggles to its 5,000 employees. The last decade has seen multiple round layoffs, including the departure of big-name talent such as Jeff Van Gundy, Keyshawn Johnson, Suzy Colbert, and Max Kellerman this summer. Remaining on-air talents had to accept smaller raises or even salary cuts. Staffers behind the scenes were told to cover games remotely and limit or eliminate travel. But Disney could fetch $25 billion or more by selling ESPN. For the second time in recent weeks, the Mouse House gave possible investors a peek under the hood at ESPN's financials. For decades, it has been an open secret that ESPN was Disney's cash cow, but Disney hid ESPN's real numbers because they didn't want leagues and distributors to know just how rich the media giant really was. Even reduced as they are after a decade of cord cutting, ESPN's financials came under a stunner to former staffers. During the fourth quarter, Disney reported ESPN's operating income surge 16% to $987 million off $3.5 billion in revenue. In a previous SEC filing, Disney revealed Bristol's delivered $2.9 billion in profits off of $16 billion in revenue to Burbank's coffers in fiscal 2022. The network's profits have grown for 2 straight fiscal years. Some former ESPNers resent the billions of profit siphoned out of Bristol over the years. Others believe they paid with their jobs for the mistake made by Disney's 3,000 mile away. This year, returning Disney chairman Bob Iger announced his plan to slash 7,000 jobs with the goal of $5.5 billion in cost savings. A lot of employees are asking, "What the f?" Complained one ex-ESPNer. "We were told internally, don't travel, no Christmas parties, and lay off. Then you see the numbers and you learn we earned $3 billion? There are good reasons why Iger would rather sell a minority stake in ESPN to the NFL or NBA than split it off into distressed assets. It's not because he sentimentally recalls cutting his teeth in sports under the late Rooney Alderer of ABC Sports. Yes, cord-cutting has shrunk ESPN's footprint to 71 million homes from a peak of 100 million. Yes, the cable bundle that nourished ESPN's dual revenue streaming is crumbling. Yes, ESPN's strategy to transition to direct-to-consumer future by 2025 is not guaranteed to succeed, but a close read of the numbers indicates that ESPN is still the Disney's empire crown jewel. ESPN generated more profits in fiscal 2022 than Disney's entire entertainment business at $2.1 billion, noted The Hollywood Reporter. Meanwhile, the company's ESPN Plus streaming platform is already profiting, while Disney and Hulu's platforms are still losing money. In April, author James Andrew Miller tweeted ESPN generated an astonishing $22 billion in profits for Disney from 2018 to 2022. He would know. Miller wrote the book on the worldwide leader in sports with his best-selling The Guys, having all the fun inside the world of ESPN. At the height of the cable subscription market in the 2010s, ESPN was a bigger, more profitable company than the studio and the parks put together. Former President John Skipper said on the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast. That enabled ESPN with its dual revenue stream of cable subscription plus advertising to simply outbid linear TV competitors, whether it was for expensive sports media rights or top on air talents. Meanwhile, Iger shrewdly used the billions generated by ESPN to bankroll his acquisition of the 21st Century Fox, Marvel, Pixar, and Lucasfilms. As former ESPNer Bill Simmons told Jimmy Trania of Sports Illustrated, they were at ATM for Disney, and the article goes on to say a bunch of other things. You guys can go ahead and check it out. So anyway, this was a bit surprising to me based on all of the information that we had out there, because the way it was sounding based on the figures that we heard in terms of them losing subscription dropping from what 100 million to 70 million. So they were losing about 3 million subscribers every single year. That's a pretty significant number. If you then crunch those numbers and multiply them by 3 million versus the monthly, how much it was selling their package for every single month is a lot of money. So those numbers are real. But nevertheless, it seems that they were able to extract success from various areas. And I'm sure some of these people, as the article alluded to, that some of them are going to be sitting down asking the question, okay, but if you guys had all this money, why did you let us go? Listen, the sports media landscape is changing quickly. I was recently texting with Marcellus Wiley because he produced a show on this. He produced a show which was basically centered on some comments that Cameron from It Is What It Is. Shout out to Cameron and Mates. These are people that I grew up listening to, man. So those are like legends of mine. But anyway, they were talking about, I think they were talking to $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, and they were talking about, Skip Bayless having difficulties kind of adapting to this new wave that we're all right now with sports media. And if they like their question, okay, you're blaming all of the win and all of that. So I asked Marcellus, I was like, hey, what do you think about that? Why do you think Skip is finding it so difficult to adapt to the changing of times? That he's just not adapting for whatever reason. And it goes to show you just how quickly this thing is changing, that even though the company was profitable, they still let go of these people, which means that your job security isn't safe. But it also means that, listen, if you're looking at all of these people out there succeeding, it presents an opportunity for you, because there are people out there that are winning. It's just a matter of going out there and stepping out there and figuring it out. And I'm going to be curious to see a lot of those people that were laid off by ESPN, maybe the Jalen Roses, the Max Kellermans, and others. I'm wondering if they're going to go the independent route or if they're going to find themselves back on television. It's something that we all have to wait and see, because to me, man, the sports media landscape is evolving so quickly and there's so much opportunity out there. And I think the people that kind of position themselves properly are going to be the ones that are going to succeed going into the future. But nevertheless, this article does come as a surprise, because from what we've been hearing, that Disney's losing a lot of money, or at least ESPN in this case, but to hear that they've actually been profitable and they're making a lot of money, it's quite surprising. So what I want to know from you guys, based on this report that we put out, what do you think about the trend Disney's moving towards? Do you think they're going to continue to be profitable, or do you think that, listen, maybe this is just a moment, things will change, they won't be able to go direct to consumer as they're hoping to by 2025, and we're going to see some slippage later on in the future? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.